Libra, let me ask you something quietly but seriously. Have you been waking up lately with a strange heaviness in your chest? Do you sometimes feel like the room you're in isn't really meant for you anymore, like your soul doesn't stretch the same way it used to? Have you noticed that the places and people around you no longer make you feel alive, understood, or inspired? If so, don't panic. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're simply being called away, not by accident, but by divine design. There comes a moment when God no longer allows your spirit to remain in a space that stifles your growth. And for you, Libra, that moment is now. Right now, a spiritual relocation is happening deep inside your life. It might not look like anything has changed on the outside yet, but something powerful is shifting on the inside. God is whispering into your spirit, gently but clearly. Get your bag ready, you're leaving soon. But this isn't just about travel or movement. It's not about packing boxes or catching flights. This is about leaving behind a version of yourself that's done all it can do in its current space. You are being moved from what's familiar to what is fulfilling. You are being called out of comfort so you can finally walk into the clarity your soul has been begging for. This is not a punishment. It's a preparation, because you were not made to stay in rooms that dull your light. You were made to walk into new atmospheres that honor your presence, protect your peace, and pour back into you the way you pour into others. There is something sacred about the discomfort you've been feeling. It's not just sadness, it's not just confusion. It's a divine signal, a sacred announcement echoing from above. Pack your faith. Leave your fear. I'm taking you somewhere your spirit can finally rest. Libra, I know it's hard. You've built so much where you are. You've loved people deeply. You've made memories in places that now feel empty. But what if I told you that the emptiness is not a sign of failure, but a sign that the assignment in that place is complete? What if I told you you're not being abandoned, you're being escorted by grace into a space that will breathe life into your tired bones? Libra, this isn't just a shift. This is a spiritual exit strategy, designed by the very hand of God. And right now, as you listen to these words, you already know this is about you. If your heart feels this message tugging at it, don't ignore it, let it sink in. Now, I want you to do something brave. Right now, type these words in the comments. I'm ready to be led by God. Let that be your public agreement. Let that be your soul's first step forward. Because this message was not meant for everyone, it was meant for you at this very time. Don't rush away, don't scroll past, stay with me. Because as we go deeper, you'll begin to understand something beautiful. Every delay, every loss, every quiet goodbye was part of the sacred map God has been using to guide you out. You haven't been drifting, you've been directed. So Libra, gather yourself, prepare your spirit. The departure is closer than you think, and the place waiting for you is already filled with peace. When a place becomes too small for your spirit, Libra, have you ever walked into a room you used to love, and suddenly it felt strange? Not haunted, not dangerous, just foreign. As if something inside you no longer fits the space. You sit in your usual chair, you follow your normal routine, you speak to the same people, but it all feels unfamiliar. Like you're watching yourself live a life that no longer belongs to you. You look around and wonder, when did everything start to feel so small? That's not a mood swing. That's not a bad day. That's your soul trying to tell you something very important. Your spirit is stretching. It's growing in ways your current environment cannot hold anymore. And so the world around you starts to tighten, not to suffocate you, but to make sure you don't settle where you don't belong anymore. This feeling of discomfort, it's not a curse, it's not chaos, it's a sign. A gentle spiritual sign that you've reached the edge of this chapter. God is letting you feel the limits, so you no longer pretend they're enough. That's why the people you once laughed with now feel distant. That's why the schedule you used to enjoy feels draining. That's why you don't feel seen, even when you're surrounded. It's because the version of you that fit there is no longer the version that lives there. You've grown, you've changed, you've awakened. And now, God is slowly peeling you away from what once made sense. So you can walk into what was always meant for your next level. He's not doing it all at once. He's doing it in pieces, quietly, carefully, but purposefully. You're being emotionally and spiritually released, little by little. It starts with disconnect. Then comes disinterest. Then discomfort. Until finally, you feel like you're standing in a life you didn't ask for anymore. And that's when you begin to realize you're not where you're supposed to be anymore. The space you once called home has now become a shell, a reminder of what was, not what will be. And though you may be tempted to stay because it's familiar, something inside you knows you cannot breathe fully where your spirit can't stretch freely. You aren't made to shrink to keep things peaceful. You weren't born to stay in places just because they're safe. You were designed to evolve, and evolution often requires an exit. Libra, it's not that you failed the place. It's that you finished the assignment in that place. You've learned what you were supposed to learn. You've given all that you could. You've absorbed all that the space had to teach you. Now God is leading you to a place that can handle who you are becoming. So if you've been feeling out of sync, if you've been doubting your presence in places that used to give you peace, it's okay. It's just the first sign that the shift has begun. This is not about packing bags just yet. This is about recognizing that something within you is preparing for departure, and that departure is a sacred one. You're not escaping. You're not abandoning. You're being invited to step out of what's too small so you can step into what was always meant to be yours. Why everything is falling apart around you. Libra, let's speak honestly. You've been trying to hold things together. You've been putting in the effort. You've been showing up, doing your part, praying, hoping, trying not to fall apart. But no matter how much energy you give, no matter how many times you try to fix it, things just keep slipping through your hands. The doors that once opened with ease are now locked. The friendships that once felt warm now feel cold. The work that once gave you joy now feels heavy and draining, and you've started to wonder, what am I doing wrong? But what if I told you, you're not doing anything wrong? What if the falling apart is not punishment, but permission? Here's the truth, Libra. Before God can move you into the right space, He first has to remove you from the wrong one. Not because the space was evil, not because the people were bad, but because it's no longer the place where your purpose can grow. And sometimes we would never leave on our own. So God starts to gently, and sometimes painfully, pull things apart. He loosens the bricks. He removes the support beams. He lets the plans fall through. And at first, it feels cruel, but in reality, it's sacred. It's sacred sabotage, a divine undoing, not to destroy you, but to deliver you. God is pulling apart everything that was built on survival, fear, people-pleasing, or past versions of you, so He can rebuild something that finally fits the depth of your spirit. He is not letting it work anymore. Not because you failed, but because you finished. And now something deeper is being birthed. But in order to step into it, the old has to collapse. That's why your plans feel like they no longer land. That's why certain people are growing distant. That's why your energy crashes in rooms that once gave you strength. It's not your fault. It's just time. Time to move. Time to release. Time to accept that the foundation you once stood on is no longer meant to hold your future. Because if everything kept working, you would never leave. You'd stay. You'd settle. You'd keep trying to make it work, even when your spirit is begging for something more. So sometimes, blessings come dressed as breakdowns. Sometimes the most loving thing God can do is let the plan fail. Let the door close. Let the room grow cold. Because He knows you wouldn't walk out otherwise. You see, Libra, it's not falling apart to destroy you. It's falling apart to free you. Free you from the weight of what you've outgrown. Free you from expectations that no longer reflect your truth. Free you from staying stuck in a place your soul can no longer breathe. So if your life feels like it's crumbling, if the walls are shaking, if the routine is collapsing, maybe, just maybe, it's not destruction. Maybe it's construction. Maybe it's God's way of clearing the old so He can finally reveal the new. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are called. And the calling cannot grow in the clutter. So don't fear the fall. Sometimes the fall is what gets you to fly. Your life is not breaking. It's being rearranged. Piece by piece, God is shifting the puzzle to match the picture He had for you all along. It hurts. It's confusing. But it's holy. So trust the hands that are taking it all apart. Because those same hands are preparing a place where your spirit will finally feel whole again. The spiritual packing list. What to take and what to leave. Libra, God is calling you to move, but not just in the physical world. He's calling your spirit to shift into a new place, a place of peace, a place of purpose, a place made just for your soul. And just like with any journey, you must pack. But this is not about clothes or money or material things. This is about spiritual packing. Because not everything you're carrying right now can come with you. Some of it is too heavy, some of it is too broken, and some of it simply doesn't belong in the future God is preparing for you. Before you go forward, you need to choose what will you take and what must be left behind. God is saying, pack your bag. But He's not just talking about items, He's talking about what you carry in your heart, what you carry in your mind, what you carry in your spirit. There are people you love, but they can't walk with you into this next season. Not because they're bad, not because you hate them, but because their energy is tied to a version of you that no longer exists. There are habits you've held on to, but they won't survive in the next level of your growth. You cannot bring fear into a place that requires bold faith. You cannot bring procrastination into a season that calls for action. There are memories, some beautiful, some painful, but you must fold them gently like old letters and place them in the drawer of the past, not the bag of the future. Because where you're going, God needs space to pour in something new. So what should you pack? Start with this. Faith over familiarity. Choose to trust even when the path looks different. Don't let what's comfortable keep you from what's called. Then pack. Trust over timeline. You may not know when it will all come together, but God does. You don't need to rush what is divinely timed. You just need to be willing to move when the signal comes. And don't forget, obedience over comfort. Sometimes the path God chooses is not the one that feels the easiest, but it will always be the one that leads to peace. Now let's talk about what not to bring. Don't carry guilt. Guilt will weigh down your wings. Guilt will remind you of who you were when God is trying to show you who you are becoming. Don't bring doubt. This next chapter requires belief. Belief in God's plan, belief in your growth, and belief that even if you don't feel ready, you're still chosen. Leave behind the need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't owe anyone a map of your calling. Your journey is between you and God. Let people question. Let them misunderstand. What matters is that you're being obedient, not that you're understood. Leave behind fear. Fear will always ask you to stay small, but your spirit is asking to be free. This spiritual migration is not just about where you're going, it's about what you're becoming. And who you're becoming can't carry the chains of yesterday. Travel light. Don't pack bitterness. Don't bring resentment. Don't try to carry all the pressure on your own shoulders. Let grace carry you. Let peace walk beside you. Let faith guide your steps. Libra, you are not bringing the past. You are bringing the promise. You are not leaving to escape. You are leaving because your spirit is being led. And when God says pack your bag, He's not asking you to figure it all out. He's asking you to trust Him with what comes next. So take only what lifts your soul. Leave behind anything that keeps you small. This move, this journey, is not about what you're walking away from, but what you're walking towards. Signs God is already relocating you spiritually. Libra, you may still be living in the same house. You may still be walking the same streets, talking to the same people, and working the same job. But something deep inside you already knows you're not the same anymore. And that's because, spiritually, you're already moving. Even if your feet haven't taken a step yet, your soul has already started packing. Your heart has already started reaching for something more. Your spirit is already walking toward the place meant just for you. And you might be wondering, how do I know God is shifting me? How do I know I'm not just overthinking things? Let me show you the signs. The first sign is this. You feel deeply uncomfortable in places that once felt normal. Familiar rooms now feel cold. Friendly faces now feel distant. Even your favorite places don't give you peace like they used to. You're still showing up, but inside you feel like a visitor in your own life. It's as if your soul is quietly whispering, "This is not home anymore." Second sign, your desires are changing. What used to make you excited doesn't feel important anymore. You're not chasing the same goals. You're not pulled toward the same distractions. You crave depth now. You crave truth. You crave peace, not noise. You don't want just anything. You want what's meant for you. And that shift isn't random. It's spiritual. Third sign, people are quietly drifting away. Connections are fading. Conversations are growing shorter. Some people just disappear from your life without warning or explanation, and you wonder, did I do something wrong? But no, Libra, you didn't. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. These are not accidents, they're divine separations. God is making room for better support, room for new voices, room for people who match the next version of you. Fourth sign, you've been dreaming differently. You feel pulled to unknown places, cities you've never been to, homes you've never lived in. You might even see yourself starting over somewhere else, and even though you don't understand it, you feel peaceful in those dreams. That's not just your imagination, that's your spirit catching glimpses of where God is leading you. Your soul recognizes the next destination, even before your mind fully understands it. Fifth sign, you're becoming more sensitive to God's voice. You feel a pull to spend time in quiet. You wake up in the middle of the night with thoughts you can't explain. You feel nudges in your heart that won't go away. And even in silence, you hear something. Not loud words, but clear direction. A whisper that says, "I'm preparing you. Keep trusting me." If you've been noticing these signs, don't ignore them. They're not random. They're not confusion. They are proof that the spiritual relocation has already begun. You're not stuck. You're not wandering. You're being summoned. Summoned out of what's been draining your spirit and into what will finally restore your joy. You don't need all the answers yet. You just need to stay awake. Pay attention to the signals. God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he simply shifts, and right now he's shifting you. So Libra, if you feel like you're floating between one version of yourself and the next, if the life around you feels too small, too loud, too dim, take a deep breath. It's not a breakdown. It's the beginning of a breakthrough. You're already on your way. Your spirit knows it, and very soon, your feet will catch up. When God tells you to leave without details, Libra, this is the part that many people struggle with. Because when you hear God say leave, your first instinct is to ask, leave and go where, how, when, what's the plan? But often God does not give the full plan. He gives one clear message: go, move, prepare yourself, and then he waits for your trust to lead the way. It's hard, isn't it? To walk away from what you know without seeing what's ahead. To leave behind what feels safe without holding a new set of keys in your hand. But this is where real faith begins. Not faith in what you can see, not faith in the perfect timing, but faith in the voice that called you. Libra, you're not the first one to face this kind of moment. Think of Abraham. God didn't give him a map. God didn't give him directions. He simply said, go to the land I will show you. Not the land he already knew, not a location with a name, but a place that would only be revealed step by step after he began to move. That's what God does with people he trusts. He doesn't hand out the details, because the details are often too big for our understanding. Instead, he gives you a word, a sentence, a nudge, a whisper, and he watches to see if you will walk, even when you don't know where your feet will land. Because the truth is, faith is the vehicle, not the map. You don't need to know every turn. You just need to believe that the one who guides you knows the road. God gives instructions, not always explanations. And there's a reason for that. Because sometimes, if you saw everything that was coming, your fear might keep you frozen. if you saw how big the shift would be, if you saw how many people would walk away, if you saw how far you'd have to stretch, you might talk yourself out of it. So instead of showing you the whole picture, God protects you through silence. He gives you just enough to obey, but not enough to overthink. Because he knows that movement brings revelation. Answers don't come before the walk, they come during it. Right now, maybe all you've heard is, pack your bag, you're leaving soon, you haven't seen the new place yet, you haven't received the confirmation, you don't know the full purpose. And that feels scary. But Libra, that's okay. Because that word, that one message, is enough. It's enough because it came from God. And when God speaks, he doesn't waste words. He doesn't need to say more because he is already going before you. You won't see the full staircase, but the next step will light up as you take it. This journey isn't about having the answers, it's about having the relationship with the one who already walked ahead of you. So if your heart is asking, but where am I going? Just know this. God is not hiding the place from you. He's holding it for you. And when the time is right, when your spirit is steady, when your heart is open, he will show you everything you need to see. But for now, Libra, all you need is the bag, the faith, and the willingness to walk. He will reveal the rest as you move the place meant for your spirit. Libra, you are not being moved by accident. This shift is not random. This journey you're on is not a mistake. God is not just picking a new place out of nowhere. He's not guessing. He's not experimenting with your life. He is intentionally leading you to a space that has been waiting for your spirit to arrive. A place that is not just about geography, but about divine alignment. This new place, it is sacred, it is designed, it is made with your soul in mind. It's not just another chapter, it's the real one. The one where you'll finally feel like you belong. Because in this place, your voice will be heard, not ignored, not misunderstood. When you speak, people will listen with their hearts, not just their ears. You won't have to shout. You won't have to explain yourself over and over. You will be valued for your truth, not just your presence. Your heart will be protected. You won't have to keep building walls to keep yourself safe. You won't have to question everyone's intentions. In this place, your heart can rest. It can open again. It can feel safe in ways it hasn't in years. Your gifts will be honored. The talents you've hidden, the ideas you've pushed aside, the creativity that's been waiting for permission. All of it will finally find the space to grow. In this place, your gifts will not be seen as too much. They will be seen as necessary. Your silence will be understood. You won't have to perform all the time. You won't have to fill the air with words just to be accepted. You'll be able to sit in quiet and still be fully known. You'll feel seen, even when you don't speak. And that kind of understanding, that's rare, that's sacred. This new place God is leading you to, it won't be perfect, but it will be peaceful. You'll wake up with fewer questions, you'll breathe deeper, you'll walk lighter. You'll look around and feel like, yes, this is it, this is where I'm supposed to be. You'll no longer shrink yourself to fit in. You'll expand, because the room was built for you to grow. In this space, you won't be judged by who you were. You'll be celebrated for who you've become. And you'll no longer have to chase what belongs to you. It will find you. Because this place was built with your name on it. This isn't just a physical location. It's a frequency, a spiritual tone that matches your inner peace. You're not just moving into a new setting, you're stepping into a higher version of your life. One that fits your growth, one that holds your calling, one that matches your spirit. You'll laugh again. Not the short, polite laugh, but the kind that comes from deep within. The laugh that only shows up when your soul feels safe. You'll create without second guessing. You'll speak without shrinking. You'll love without fear. And most of all, you'll feel free. Libra, this is the place your spirit has been praying for. Even when you didn't have the words for it, your soul already knew it was out there. Now, you're on your way. And very soon, you'll walk into it. Fully, completely, peacefully. Because this is where your spirit was always meant to land. Not just a better place, the right place. and you are finally becoming the version of yourself who is ready to receive it. The final push. Trusting the unknown. Libra, this is the part that feels the heaviest. This is the moment where many give up, not because they're weak, but because the pressure becomes so loud, they forget how close they really are. Right before everything changes, life gets loud, life gets strange. You start to feel confused, tired, unsure. And then, you start to question everything. Did I really hear God right? Am I making a mistake? Should I just stay where I am? The place you're leaving suddenly starts looking safe again, even though it's been draining your peace. The people who hurt you begin to look familiar, even though they never truly supported your growth. And you'll be tempted to turn back, tempted to stay just a little longer, tempted to make peace with what you were meant to walk away from. But Libra, listen closely. Don't. This is the final push. This is the last part of the old story. And yes, it feels messy. Yes, it feels uncertain. But that's exactly how every great transformation begins. Think about it. The moments right before a flight takes off, that's when everything feels unsettled. The noise increases. The pressure builds. You feel the weight of the moment pressing down. But it's not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're about to lift off. And that's what's happening to you now. You are closer than you think. So close that everything around you is reacting to the shift. People may misunderstand you, plans may seem delayed, your emotions might feel like a roller coaster. But underneath all of that, there's something steady, something calm, something unshakable. It's that quiet voice inside you, the one that whispers, "Keep going, don't turn back." Hold tight to that voice. Hold tight to the moments when you felt goosebumps for no reason. Hold tight to the sudden waves of peace that showed up in the middle of your storm. Hold tight to the signs you couldn't explain but couldn't ignore. These are not just coincidences, they are confirmations. God is guiding you. Even when the road ahead looks unclear, He's moving you forward. Even when the map looks blank. You're not lost, you're being led. So trust your spiritual GPS, even when the screen goes dark. Because even when you can't see where you're going, He still knows the way. Libra, your bag is packed. Your soul is ready. The old version of you has already said goodbye, even if your body hasn't stepped forward yet. The light is turning green, and the place made for your spirit is calling your name. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with a soft, strong invitation. It's time. You've come too far to stop now. You've healed too much to go back. You've prayed too long to settle. The final push always feels like pressure. But pressure doesn't mean destruction. It means birth. Something is being born in you. A new strength, a new clarity, a new peace. And heaven is not far. Heaven is already at the gate, waiting for your final yes. So keep going, Libra. You're not lost. You're almost there. The place meant for your spirit is real. Libra, this moment was never a coincidence. This message didn't just happen to show up on your screen. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was timing. Divine timing. You didn't stumble onto this video. It found you. Because something deep inside you, something beyond words, is ready. Not just curious, not just hoping, ready. Your soul has been whispering for direction. Your heart has been asking questions. And lately, your spirit has been unsettled. Not because you're lost, but because you're being called somewhere greater. That restless feeling you've been carrying? It's not confusion. It's not fear. It's memory. Yes, memory. Your spirit already knows what's ahead. It has seen the place meant for you. It remembers the peace. It remembers the joy. It remembers the version of you that can breathe fully, love deeply, and live freely. That's why you felt like something is missing. That's why the noise around you has started to feel too loud. That's why nothing temporary seems to satisfy your soul anymore. It's not because you're broken. It's because you're on your way home. And when we get close to our true home, even if we can't see it yet, our soul begins to prepare. Our spirit begins to rise. And our heart begins to wake up. Libra, this next chapter is not just about changing your environment. It's not just about stepping into a new season. It's about becoming more honest with yourself, becoming stronger in your faith, becoming the version of you that no longer hides, becoming the person who walks into a room and knows they belong, without apology. This chapter won't just move your body. It will lift your identity. It will remind you of who you are, and more importantly, who you were always meant to be. So don't wait for perfect clarity. Don't wait for all the signs to be loud. Walk boldly. Don't just get ready, stay ready. Because your name is already printed on a spiritual boarding pass. You're not forgotten. You're not delayed. You're next. God is the pilot. The journey is sacred, and the destination is prepared just for you. And now I invite you to speak it aloud. Make it real with your words. Comment below, "I'm ready to be led by God." Write it, say it, feel it. Let that sentence carry weight. Let it echo into the atmosphere. Let it anchor your spirit, because something changes when you stop thinking about moving and start agreeing with heaven that it's time. If this message spoke to your heart, if you felt God tapping you gently throughout this video, don't let the moment pass. Subscribe to this channel, not just for more videos, but for more divine reminders that are meant for your soul's journey. Because this space, right here, is part of your preparation, part of your spiritual bag, a part of your next step. The waiting is over, Libra. The wondering, the worrying, the watching, it's behind you now. Your spirit is about to find its true home. And when you arrive, you will not have to force anything. It will feel natural. It will feel safe. It will feel like peace. And that, dear soul, is how you'll know you're finally where you belong. Amen.